Today we're going to be doing ribs in the crock pot. And so I'm going to show you guys how to condiment them, how to prep them, and what to kind of expect out of it. A lot of times people think that eating well is synonymous with spending a lot of money, eating well to going to a restaurant. You'd be surprised that most restaurants, the quality of the food it's never like home cooking. I'm not saying don't go to restaurants, go enjoy the experience. When you go to a restaurant, you're paying to hang out at somewhere that's cool, but in all reality, you're paying a lot of overhead on that food. And so you can get your ingredients at different places. You know, you can get them at the local butcher, you can get them at the supermarket. It all depends on where you get them, and that's gonna be where your budget lays. Today I'm working with they call them premium ribs, but they're local. And so, not saying that local ribs are not premium, but these are like the bottom of the stack here. Like as far as all the ribs, the different types of ribs that they had at the supermarket, I picked the cheapest ones because I knew that I was going to be working with the crock pot, and no matter what, they're going to be fall off the bone delicious. And so I'll walk you through the spices, how to create the rub, pretty much what we're going to prep it, which is just throwing some garlic and an onion in, and then a little bit of barbecue sauce. But the whole process takes about 5, 6, 7 hours. I usually just kind of feel it out by grabbing the bone, and when it falls off, you know it's ready. 3 tablespoons of salt, 8 tablespoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of tenderizer, 5 tablespoons of paprika, 1 tablespoon of cayenne, 1 tablespoon of Cajun, 2 tablespoons of red pepper. I don't usually work with measurements, I usually just eye it out. 1 cup of sugar. For the rub, these are kind of approximations. I was tweaking it a little bit while we were putting together. 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of cumin. Once you have everything mixed together, that's when you're going to apply the rub to the ribs. You're going to want to pat your ribs down and get rid of any excess moisture. As it cooks, it's going to absorb into the meat, and some will drip off, and that same brine is going to be what the ribs cook in. But for the most part, you want to be pretty constant with the way that you rub the meat. Rub the meat. Oh man. Once you have that done, all you have to do is cut it into pieces that fit into your crock pot. There you go. For the barbecue sauce, we're going to taking a few ingredients, mixing them together, and remember, this is your own recipe. You can do whatever you want, however you like it. You can just mix the flavors. Yeah, there's some general rules to cooking, but it's the finished product is what determines the success of the recipe. And so don't be scared to experiment, because that's usually how, you know, how did the best recipes in the world come to be about? And it was all through experimentation. Be creative. If you're not creative, you're going to be eating the same thing every day. So the first thing we do is we cut the onion. It's going to be a generous part of the barbecue sauce. Put it in here. All right. I personally, I'm a fan of mustard with my ribs, and so we got about that much mustard in there. And then from there we got our garlic. I love garlic. Fatwa loves garlic, so this is kind of like we use it. But for sure, I don't think you can have enough of it. I mean, worst case scenario, it's good for you. And so there's a couple tips and secrets to removing the. There's like a million of it. It all depends on what the internet says. But you take this, squash it, and then this just comes right off. So you will have to touch the garlic though, you know, just letting you know that. Be expecting to touch garlic. Mix them in and throw them in there. There we go. All right, so pretty much we have the base there for our barbecue sauce. Still gonna add a few more things. I always add more. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. All right. Add a little bit of pepper. All right, are we watching? Yeah, all right. cayenne, maybe a dizzle. What's a dizzle? I don't know. And we're gonna go with this. This was on sale the last time when we went to the supermarket. And so I'm gonna put like a cup or 2 cups. All right, so my secret ingredient is a little bit of beef broth. Just a little bit, not a lot. It's just to give it something to cook with. And once you have all those together, it depends on how sweet you want it and how spicy you want it. For example, if you want it to be a little bit sweeter, you can add more sugar, which, I mean, you know what? Since this is for me and Fado, it is for you guys, but it's for me and Fado. I'm just showing you the gist. You can kind of play with your own ingredients when you see how easy it is. And I'm gonna add a little bit more of the red pepper. I know Fado will love it, and so that's kind of what matters. And so yeah, we're gonna have something that's definitely sweet and spicy. Mix it up, and this is the base. You know, it's just that easy. And everybody can do it differently. I'm not saying that this is the only way, because it's definitely not. Making this up as I go, but I know it's gonna be good, and I am not worried about the results, more than it being overly spicy. And so once you have this made, you're pretty much done. All over, try not to splash too much. Flip it around. Get it on the one underneath a little bit. We got the onions there. We got a nice layer. The onions are between the two. A lot of garlic in the sauce. And then this will start working its way through. I do want to clean this up a little bit, because if you don't clean it up, it's going to get caked on. There we go. Cover it up. So with that, we'll follow up in a couple hours, and it should be, you know, the whole house in about an hour and a half is just going to start smelling delicious. And then from there, we can't open it. We cannot open it at all. I'll show you the finished product as soon as it's done. And if you do it at home, if you do it at home, show me a photo of how it goes, or tell us how you do it. You know, tell us how you do it differently. I mean, I know that right now I did some things that are totally different from what's conventional, and there's gonna be somebody, oh, that's not how you make ribs. And it's like, no, man, I can do it however I want. It's what matters is how it tastes at the end. You're gonna cook it on high for the first 3 hours, and then you're gonna cook it on low for the following 3, 4, 5, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. It's all about, since it's slow cooked, the longer it cooks, the more tender it'll become, so it's just about where you're comfortable with it. Can't pick them up. The bone comes right off. We added some potatoes as a side a few hours ago. They're done. Chewy approved. Chewy? You made it this far in the video. Thank you for accompanying me. I'm really happy with the way that it came out. The ribs were succulent, they were moist, they were incredibly soft. The bone, you tried to pick it up and the bone came right out. When you see the titles with the ingredients, feel free to use them. It did come out spicy. It did come out with a refreshingly light flavor. It wasn't too sweet, it wasn't overpowering. You can add a little bit more salt to it if you like. That's all to taste, but for me this is good. And then, like, you know, threw in the potatoes to accompany it, so it was a good solid meal. The whole thing all together cost less than $10. The whole thing, everything. With the potatoes and all. I mean, I imagine that, you know, you gotta buy the spices. That's like having the color wheel for an artist. And so once you have your spices, each plate doesn't come out very expensive. But again, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, I'll make more. I got more recipes. Let me know. Later.